10 MMA fighters who got seriously damaged, Part 1. Today, in the next few minutes, we are going to talk about the 10 MMA fighters who got seriously damaged in their match. These matches are organized by the UFC after a certain interval. As we are all great fans of people fighting, whether it is illegal or legalized, we always like to watch it. And MMA is an example of a legalized one. These fights have a glazing as well as a black side. People do like and love to watch the glazing side of the fights, but they never think about the second or the black side of them. It happens multiple times that the persons who were fighting got a severe injury that either ends their career or leaves them sitting in the bed for the rest of their lives. The game might look like entertainment to some people, but it is not entertaining for the fighters. They have to suffer injuries in every fight. Sometimes these injuries are fatal as well. Tell me in the comments, what's your view on MMA fights? Before knowing about the fighters, let us first understand the meaning of MMA and how it's different from other boxing. MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. As the name suggests, MMA is a combination of several martial arts. It includes fights like judo, karate, wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, and other fighting methods. It is organized and governed by the International Mixed Martial Federation. Here, fighters fight with their opponents with no holds barred in ultimate fighting. This kind of fighting makes it more dangerous than other fights. Here, the fighter can beat the opponent in whatever he wants and as much as he can. This rule has led to several fatal damages in the fight. A report shows that about 10 people have been killed in an MMA fight. Don't you think this makes the fight a game of life and death? Even though this game has the risk of death, it is widely popular among people. It is organized from time to time, and a large number of participants remain ready to risk their lives in the ring. We will talk about these fighters who did not die, but the severe damages that changed their whole course of life. Some dared to come back to the ring again, while others became not capable enough to come back again. Now let us start with our topic. Let us know who are these 10 MMA fighters who dared to risk their lives and paid significantly for it. Rich Franklin. The number one on this list is Rich Franklin. He was one of the best fighters in MMA, but the time favors the spirited man. He never played violently, but his opponents did. His first fatal injury was a broken arm in the Chuck Liddell fight. Though he won the match, the little injuries continue to follow him in a match with Wanderlei Silva. It was the first that a fighter like Rich Franklin got injured in this way. The second match was a fight with the Axe Murderer at UFC 147, where he was severely punched by him. He was in a faint condition and fought 2 more matches in this way, but when he went for a new match with Kung Lee, he was knocked out cold by a single blow. He took retirement from fighting in November 2012. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She was the champion at strawweight in UFC. She was one of the prominent players, but her luck changed for her, and she suffered a fatal opponent attack on her face below her eyes. She was fighting with Zhang Weili at UFC 248 to test her abilities once again as the best strawweight fighter. Some previous matches had made her fall 2 or 3 steps below the ranking board. She accepted this challenge to regain her former title. This match was one of the greatest fights in the history of UFC. Both fighters fought well and gave back and forth injuries to each other for a complete 5 rounds. In the end, Joanna was seriously injured in her face below her eyes. The body of that part was broken, and she had surgery to fix it back again.
Oh, beautiful. That looked like a running headbutt.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a headbutt. Kick. Oh, there it was. The kick to the jaw of Weili. Hurt her real bad. But then Weili gets headbutted on the entry. She was very damaged.
Rory MacDonald. Rory MacDonald is one of the most prominent fighters in the history of UFC. Also, one of the most memorable matches is in his name. It is the story of UFC 189, where Rory MacDonald is fighting with Robbie Lawler. Both were fighting ruthlessly with each other and gave uncountable injuries. The play was as if they had taken the match personally and now wanted to kill each other. Robbie Lawler gave endless punches in the face of Rory MacDonald, which was stopped by the interference of the veteran. The fight was won by Robbie Lawler, and it was after the match that the seriousness of the damage came to be known. A part of Rory's nose was hit so hard that it detached itself from the skull. Marvin Eastman. Marvin Eastman is one of the deadliest fighters in the UFC. He is known for both getting injured and injuring others. He has given severe damage to others as well as received serious damages in itself. One of the severe damages that he received was a cut above the eye. It was significant damage in his career, but not limited up to that only. He faced several fatal damages before and after that. Also, he gave damage to other fighters as well. He took retirement in April 2012. Raulian Paiva. It is an example of a war in the form of an MMA match. This match was fought between Raulian Paiva and Rogerio Bontorin. The match was started, and Paiva was in the lead. But in the early first round, Rogerio nailed Paiva with a vicious knee, causing a cut to the eyelid. The match was still going on, but it was later stopped by the interference of a doctor due to the damage in the eye of Paiva. The cut was deep and had to be stitched. The cut was damaging, and it prevented Paiva from fighting in the ring again. Tim Sylvia. Tim Sylvia is one of those who received the deadliest damage in the ring. He was fighting against one of the best fighters in MMA, Frank Mir. He is one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time. It is the story of UFC 53. Frank broke the arm of Tim by armbar. The thing is, Frank is famous for his tap-a-snap approach, and he took over Tim with it. The referee had to interfere in the match to stop it. Thankfully, Tim was not damaged after that. His arm broke like a twig, and it took him months to recover from it. Mike Perry. Mike Perry has a great fan following. He was severely injured in one of his matches with Vicente De Luca. It was more like a war between the two fighters rather than a match. They were severely damaging each other in the first 3 rounds. It was not just a war, but a blood war. Both were severely damaged. In this match, Mike Perry's nose got severely damaged. It was first broken by an airstrike and later deepened by uncontrollable punches. However, the decision of this match was taken by the split, and Luca was declared the winner. Ken Shamrock. Kid Shamrock was a prominent fighter in the UFC. He continued to be in the ring for about 17 years, but much of his time was spent in the dark area, where he was not allowed to fight. In his career of 17 years, he faced several injuries and severe damages. After his fight with Kazuyuki Fujita, he probably suffered a heart problem. It was suspected that he will not come back, but he did. James Thompson. James Thompson was a masculine, strong-bodied creature, generally plumper than others, but he too suffered a serious disease. His suspect chin was broken in the ring by a fighter. Later in his other matches, he also suffered other vital damage to his body parts. Later, he took retirement in May 2012. Mark Hominick. Jose Aldo is no doubt one of the fiercest fighters in the UFC. He was fighting against Mark Hominick at UFC 129. The match was won by Hominick, but after the match, it came to be known that he had a serious hematoma during the clash above his eyes. It was so swollen that it was looking like a ball stuck in his head. He was hospitalized right after the completion of the match to cure the swollen head. So this was all about the 10 MMA fighters who faced severe injuries in their lives. Many of them are cured, and they got back in the ring again. They are highly spirited and dedicated towards their work, but they can't live even after the severe damages. For people, it may be a match for entertainment, but it could even cost the lives for the fighters. And that's it for today. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.